welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm so happy you decided to join me today for a reading all about your next relationship. If you're new to Pick a Card readings, I'll give you guys a quick rundown of how it works. I have 4 cards laid out before me, 1, 2, 3, 4, and each card has a corresponding envelope as well. Some people like to pick just by looking at the cards, other people like to have something tangible to look at as well, so I like to give you both options. Pick the card that resonates with you the most. If you're feeling drawn to more than one card, that's okay. It could just be that there's information in both of those piles that you would need to hear. I conduct my readings completely intuitively, so I've only laid out one card below instead of an entire pile. There's timestamps in the description box below for your specific card, so you can listen to your reading. So feel free to give the video a pause right now and choose the card that you feel the most drawn to. All right, so now that you've picked your card, let's get started with card number 1. All right, so card number 1, let's get started and see what we have. Ooh, surrender to the divine. Okay, so right off the bat, this is telling me the relationship that you have that's coming next is definitely going to be something that you feel kind of spiritual as well, spiritually connected to. And oh, we had two fly out cards there. And I definitely think it's also something that's going to feel very, I want to say natural, right? So it's something that's going to feel to you like just totally right from the beginning. You're going to feel completely content in this relationship. And I'm also getting from some of the other cards that are coming out that this is going to happen at a time in your life where you're very close to achieving something, right? We've got with the gibbous moon that you're close to achieving your goal. So this is telling me the timing of your next relationship is probably going to be very good. It's going to be coming for you at a time when energy is gaining momentum, right? And just as things are finally starting to click into place for you, maybe a project is finished, obviously, you know, you're right at the end, you're going to have this new relationship come in that is just going to feel so new and exciting and really like a breath of fresh air. And what I'm also getting from the cards here, where I see communication is key, the new moon in Gemini, is just telling me that that might be a struggle that you guys have, right? Especially at the beginning of your relationship. This is definitely the early energy, is that in order to make this relationship really flourish and in order for this relationship to have kind of longevity, one thing that's really important for you is to make sure that you guys are communicating. You're really open and honest with what you both want out of the relationship. I'm getting a sense that maybe you guys might go into the relationship thinking that you want one thing and it might turn into a little bit of a different situation as well. So sometimes you think, okay, we'll just see where it's going to go. Maybe it's not going to be something serious, but I'm definitely getting the energy here that this could be a long-lasting relationship for you if you allow it to be, right? When we have surrender to the divine, sometimes to me that card can mean that there's opportunities for things to happen, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to happen. That's really on you to make the decision whether or not you want to allow this relationship to really flourish. It's going to be a time for you where personally you're achieving goals. Personally, you're feeling really good about the things that are going on. And so I think that when we have something like that, sometimes we don't want to share our lives. Sometimes we don't want to put energy into a relationship when you've spent so much energy getting yourself to this point where you're finally achieving this goal. So what we have, I think, is almost a crossroads for you. It could be, oh, there we go. We've got the tower coming out. Exactly. So it could be a situation where, you know, you have this opportunity for this relationship, but you might have to give something up in order to get this relationship, right? When we have the Page of Swords, we have this kind of, it's like a new energy. It's a new mental energy, right? It's the start of a new chapter of your life. And then when we have the Page of Pentacles, again, that's like a new venture, a new financial opportunity. So this is something I'm feeling like maybe to do with your job. You're close to achieving a goal. And when this happens, this relationship comes in almost like this tower, right? So this relationship comes in as this opportunity to say, hey, you know, I'm going to turn your life upside down, essentially, right? And not necessarily in a bad way. I'm definitely getting a good energy from this, but what it's telling me is that you're going to have a choice whether or not you want to be in this relationship. But if you do want to be in this relationship, there's going to be a lot of changes that happen, right? So not necessarily in a bad way. And I don't get the sense that you're going to have to give anything up necessarily. It's just that as you're right on your way to that goal, I definitely feel like it's kind of a life path goal. So whether it's getting a job or graduating from school, something that kind of marks the completion of something that marks a kind of an achievement for you, right? As you finally get there, that's when this person comes in kind of at the 11th hour to say, hey, like, I'm interested in you, right? And this relationship could be so beautiful and so fulfilling for you. However, it's going to make some changes. It's going to make a lot of changes for you. So I'm getting delight as well as thriving. And so what that's telling me is that this relationship is definitely going to be a good relationship for you. It's going to bring about so much happiness for you and so much positive energy, which I love to see. However, I also see a lot of struggle, right? With the Tower card, it is a change card. It's definitely something that's going to bring about new energies, but it's not always a comfortable change, right? So whether this change is coming in and kind of disrupting your worldview, maybe you didn't think you wanted a relationship. I'm definitely getting that energy as well. You're working so hard on this goal, whether it's in school or in your job, what you're so close to achieving. You've put relationships on the back burner for sure. You've said to yourself, you know what? I don't want to be in a relationship right now. I don't have time for this. I don't have energy for this. Your energy is being directed somewhere that you feel is kind of the best use of your energy. And this person's going to come along and disrupt that a little bit. And you're definitely interested in them. You're definitely wanting to spend more time with them. But at the same time, you're scared that you're going to end up making sacrifices, I think, in your goals. But that's not what the cards are telling me. So the cards are telling me you definitely have this Tower moment. You know, it's going to disrupt some things. But as long as you are communicative, as long as you're honest and open with this person about your boundaries, what you're willing to give in a relationship, what you need to spend your time on, and especially I think letting them know that you don't have a lot of time to give them, but you are interested in them, then I think this relationship is going to be successful. I see the thriving card, I see delight. There's a lot of happy energy here. There's a lot of beautiful kind of images that we're seeing. Nothing here is feeling uncomfortable and nothing here is feeling negative. It's just that it's going to be up to you whether or not you want to put your energy into this relationship. And because of that, it's a little unclear as to whether or not this is a long-lasting relationship and whether or not this is your forever person. But this is definitely someone who's going to make you think differently about relationships. So I'm getting the energy that you maybe haven't necessarily been putting a lot of effort or energy into having relationships. And this person is going to come along and make you think, you know what, I can do both. I can be focused on my career, I can be focused on my goals, and I can still leave time for romantic relationships and other interpersonal relationships. So I think that's the key thing that's coming out of this, is that this next relationship is really going to change the way that you look at relationships and open you up to future possibilities in relationships, whether it's with this person specifically, or they could just be the next person, and then after that relationship could be kind of the one for you. It's a little bit unclear, but I'm definitely getting positive vibes from this reading, and I think it's going to change the way that you see relationships and the way that you see yourself. So I think what you should focus on right now is just being more open to the universe, right? So we've got that surrender to the divine. Just be a little bit more open. Try not to be so rigid with your beliefs. Try not to be so firm on certain things. In life, sometimes when we allow ourselves to be open and allow ourselves to change our worldviews a little bit, that's where the greatest opportunity for kind of growth comes from. So I think going forward, especially if you meet someone that interests you, but you're thinking to yourself, no, I don't have time for that right now, just try, go on a date, go for a coffee, spend an hour. It's in the grand scheme of things, you won't miss that hour, and just be open, because I think the universe is definitely going to try to put people in your path in the next few months, and I think you should be open to that. So that's the reading that I received for you today, card number 1. Please like, comment, and subscribe below if you'd like to see more content in the future. I'm always happy to take requests. I love seeing comments and questions in my DMs. And I wanted to thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a blessed day, and I hope we see each other again soon. All right, so card number 2, let's see what we have for you today. Ooh, step out of your comfort zone. Okay, so right away that's telling me that you've got a relationship coming for you that's going to definitely shake things up for you, right? Probably someone that's a little bit different from the type of people that you're used to dating, or maybe a relationship that's a little bit different than the types of relationships you're used to having. So yeah, that's always a nice thing, I think, at least. Being pushed out of our comfort zone is sometimes where we find the most exciting things in our life. So okay, here we go. So we've got an interesting narrative starting here. We've got your dreams need a practical plan, step out of your comfort zone, and luck is on your side. So that's telling me you're definitely a bit of a dreamer, right? You've got some things that you want to enact, some things that you want to put in place, but you have to be practical about that, right? So whether or not that's saying that your dreams are impractical, I don't think so. It's just saying you need to make plans. You need to have solid goals to be able to get you to where you want to go, and to step out of your comfort zone. I think that's not just in relationships, that's also just in your life, in your goals in life. And maybe what that's saying is, you could be a bit of a homebody. I'm getting that sense that maybe you don't go out much. I mean, I know no one's going out right now, but in general, maybe you're not really putting yourself out there, but you really do want to find someone, you want to get married, you want to find someone to spend your life with. However, if you're not actually putting yourself out there, if you're not actually putting yourself in front of people, that's not really a practical way to find someone, right? So I'm getting this step out of your comfort zone as maybe you need to put yourself out there a little bit, right? Whether that's online dating, whether that's going out with your friends to a bar or a club, or joining maybe a club. I know people do like cooking classes, or you can do nature walks, maybe a class at your local library, something that to you feels a little bit uncomfortable. I'm getting the energy that you might be a bit shy, which is okay. But I definitely get this sense luck is on your side, right? We've got that new moon in Sagittarius saying you've got to try and put yourself out there. And if you do, I definitely get the sense that you're going to be successful in this. This is going to pay off for you, right? So, let's see if we can get a little bit more information here, but I'm definitely getting this sense that you need to, if you want to find someone, you've got to put in a little bit of work. And unfortunately for some of us, that's how it is, right? Some people have love come very easy to them, and other people, you don't get to have that spontaneous meeting, where it's like in the movies where you fall over outside and somebody picks you up and then you go for a coffee or something. That's not always what happens, right? So I think what this spread is telling me, at least in the beginning, is that you definitely are going to have to put in some work if you want to find someone. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, so we've got the Four of Cups and the King of Swords. So the King of Swords is telling me right away, it's a very objective, kind of a little bit of a masculine energy, but very clear-headed, right? So that's the type of person, and this might be you, this might be your energy, that really likes to think things through, doesn't make decisions emotionally charged, but is definitely more of a logical person. And so for you, I think that's another thing that might be holding you back in love a little bit, because sometimes in love, you need to be able to make kind of a leap of faith. You need to be able to think with your heart and not your head. And that could be something that's maybe holding you back a little bit. And another reason that you need to step out of your comfort zone, right? It could be that you're overthinking things. So maybe you meet someone and you think to yourself, oh, that'll never work because of X, Y, Z. Well, you know what? Sometimes those things at the beginning of a relationship that seem important really don't end up being that important. And sometimes when you are too strict in what you think you want out of a relationship, you end up overlooking things that really wouldn't have mattered as much. So I'm definitely not saying to ignore red flags or anything like that. I'm just saying that sometimes you might think to yourself, oh, I would never date someone who's younger than me, right? A lot of people, a lot of women I know don't like to date younger men, and a lot of men don't like to date younger women either, right? So that might be something, well, if they're more than 6 months younger than me, I wouldn't date them. Well, you might find that person that's out there for you could actually be maybe 8 months younger than you, and you've put such a strict rule on yourself that over something which, doesn't really seem that important, that now you're kind of cutting out possibilities for things, right? So I think it's good to be practical. It's good to know the things that you will accept and won't accept in a relationship. But I also think that stepping outside of your comfort zone is really the key message that we have here, right? Try things a little bit differently. Maybe date outside of your normal circle of friends, or outside of your kind of normal type of person. And then in the Four of Cups, I'm definitely getting as well, this might be your kind of energy right now, right? A restless energy, a little bit of kind of, you're feeling a little bit down on yourself, right? It seems like maybe there's a lot of people in your life that are currently going through relationships. Maybe someone's getting married, maybe someone's, having a baby, something that's making you think to yourself like, you know what, I want that too. I just don't know how to get there, right? And so I think it's important for you to focus on your own plan, right? Your dreams need a practical plan. So instead of just thinking, oh, I would like that, it would be nice to have that happen to me, it's time for you to take action, right? And I'm definitely getting that in the Ace of Pentacles. That's definitely a card that's telling me it's time for you to take action, right? So we've got the Ace of Pentacles off the bat is telling me it's a very like manifesting card, right? So it's up to you to manifest the things that you want in your life. You are going to attract the things that come to you, right? It's telling me you're very much in charge of your own life, and I'm seeing that with the Hierophant as well. That's a card that's very like kind of rooted in I want to say like tradition, and it's definitely, it's like a strong root, right? So that's telling me you're a strong person, you have strong opinions, and you make things happen, right? So I think that you have all of these practical plans, but maybe your plans are a little bit too practical, a little bit too strict, right? That's the energy I'm getting here. And with the Seven of Swords, I'm getting this kind of like secretive, esoteric energy, like you're very much inside yourself, right? So even if this is something that you've been wanting, I don't think you've been necessarily honest with your friends about that you want a relationship. You might be the kind of person that says, oh, I'm so happy to be single, but maybe you're not so happy to be single. Maybe you really do want to find someone to be with. And I think that it's time for you to open that up a little bit, because maybe one of your friends might actually know someone that they think would be a really good match for you, but because they don't think you actually want to be with someone, they haven't put that person in your path. So that's another thing I'm getting here, is that it's time for you to open up a little bit, show yourself a little bit more to the people in your life. And I'm getting through that purification card as well. This is a time when you step out of your comfort zone, when you do decide to make these decisions, you are going to feel like a brand new person, right? This is going to really open up some things in you. I think first and foremost, a lot of confidence in yourself. I think that you're going to kind of start interacting with some different types of people that are going to remind you just how awesome you are. And I get that in the Voyage card as well. It's not necessarily a travel, it's not necessarily a physical voyage, it's more of a journey that you're going to take inside yourself, where you're going to stop being so down on yourself and stop kind of hiding who you are, and really feel that once you do step out of that comfort zone, that is you, right? So you're going to be able to be the most genuine version of yourself. And what's more important is that this is where you're going to find your person, right? At a time when you're feeling the most confident in yourself, even though you're doing things that are completely uncomfortable for you. I would say it's definitely an activity or a place that you're going, or maybe just even online dating, right? Just something that doesn't feel so comfortable to you. Give it a try, because I think that's where you're going to find your person. And that person is going to feel you're going to feel so lucky that you found them, because they're going to fit into your life so perfectly. So that's the reading that I'm getting for you today, card number 2. Please like, comment, and subscribe below if you'd like to see more content in the future. I'm so happy to see you guys interacting on my page, and I love to take requests from people as well. So thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you have a blessed day, and I hope that we get to spend time together again soon. All right, so card number 3, let's see what we have for you today. Adjustments are required. Okay, very interesting. So right off the bat, it's telling me something that's going on right now in your life is probably blocking you. From being able to get to that next relationship. So let's see if we can get a little bit more information about that. Okay, so I'm seeing your current energy right now, not necessarily the happiest energy, right? So in the Three of Swords, I'm seeing this kind of heartbreak, loss. You might be just coming out of a relationship, Or even if you're not just coming out of it, you're definitely still thinking about your past relationship, right? And I'm seeing in the Hierophant card, it's a very like ritualistic, traditional card. I'm seeing maybe you might have been thinking about marriage or possibly planning a marriage with this person. And it doesn't feel extremely recent, but maybe it is, or maybe it's just that the heartbreak feels still very fresh, right? So I'm seeing that in order to be able to move forward and meet this new person, you've got to spend some time working on healing that, right? So I'm seeing in the Page of Pentacles, it's a card that calls you to look forward, right? It's a card that calls you to focus on making new opportunities for yourself, right? So I'm seeing that in order to get to a place where you're able to meet with this, where you're able to meet this new person, you've got to do a little bit of kind of past cleansing, right? Cleanse out the energy, cleanse out the emotions, and try to heal from it, right? I'm definitely not saying to just forget about it. You've got to heal properly, otherwise you're not going to be able to move forward in a successful relationship anyways, right? And I'm seeing in the Three of Cups, this is definitely a time for you to spend time with your friends, right? Get connected to your friends, allow them to provide you with some energy for healing, and allow them to provide you with kind of an escape, right? So I think what's important for you right now is to focus on healing, spend some time with your friends, and that might be actually where you end up meeting your next person as well. Could be at a party or a gathering of friends, or through your friends as well. I'm getting that energy that you probably wouldn't even think that would happen. It seems like maybe you haven't met people through friends before. It's feeling a little bit esoteric, right? So it feels like your relationships in the past have been relationships that you've found on your own, and maybe even that your friends didn't necessarily support, because when I'm seeing the Three of Cups now in connection to this adjustments or required card, it's telling me that you are going to have the support of your friends, but you didn't necessarily have that before. So I don't know if that's resonating with some of you, maybe that they didn't like your past relationship. Well, I definitely get the sense that your next relationship is going to be well loved by your friends. And some more messages that I'm getting from my moon cards are that you need to have faith in your dreams and that you are good enough. So I'm getting this sense that your last relationship might have left you feeling definitely that you weren't worthy, that you weren't good enough for them. And that's probably why your friends didn't like them, because they started to see you turn into almost a shell of who you are. You're such a vibrant, wonderful person. And I'm getting this kind of energy from you that's very sun-like, very bright, but it wasn't necessarily there with your last relationship. And because of that, I think your friends didn't support it, but they want that for you. All of your friends really want you to find someone that's going to bring out the best in you. And when I'm seeing have faith in your dreams, I'm getting two different kind of messages from that. First of all, it's telling me that you need to trust in yourself, right? I don't know if you've ever felt like you have maybe some psychic energy, if you're seeing signs and synchronicities in the universe, if you maybe have had dreams in the past about certain situations and then things might come true. I'm getting the sense that you might have that kind of psychic energy, but I'm also getting a sense that you might feel like some of the things you wanted of a relationship are kind of lofty. You're dreaming of this maybe prince or princess charming type of relationship where you just love each other so completely, which is not like your last relationship. And you might feel like that's a little bit of a dream, that's not realistic, but that's not true. In fact, in most relationships, most healthy relationships, you should have that feeling of, total enamoring within each other, and also just that, you're respected in your relationship, that the person that you're with shows you that they love you, that they treat you properly. I'm getting this sense that you've been through some really bad relationships, but I want you to know that your next relationship that's coming for you does not have that energy. It's just that you need to focus on healing first, and you need to make sure before you enter into this next relationship that you're ready for it, right? Emotionally, that you're emotionally ready for it. And I think I'm definitely getting that here in the Solitude card as well. Whoops. In the Solitude card as well, I'm getting the energy that you need to focus on yourself right now. This isn't the time for you for a relationship, and I think maybe you know that as well. I think that maybe you've realized that it's important for you to spend some time healing yourself before you move on to a relationship. So we've got a lot of information here at the bottom. We've got, starting with Solitude, I think we've just covered that you need to spend some time focusing on yourself, adjusting, healing from this tragedy that you've went through, this betrayal, this kind of negative relationship that you've been in. And when you've taken the time to do that, then it's time for you to really start taking some risks and finding pleasure in new relationships. So one thing that I'm getting from that is that you maybe have dated the same type of person over and over again. And you might even argue and say that you haven't, but maybe talk with your friends a little bit too, because it seems like maybe your friends have never liked your past relationships. And maybe there's a reason for that. So sit down and say, hey, what was it about this person, and this person that you didn't like? And you might find some commonalities there, and that can really help you to move forward into different relationships that are going to have hopefully a different outcome, right? So I'm getting the sense that your next relationship is somebody that's going to feel a little bit risky. I don't know, not necessarily a bad boy, but somebody that you wouldn't necessarily have thought to date before. And it's going to be such a pleasurable relationship for you. It's going to open up new doors, new opportunities for you. I'm seeing even, success as well. Maybe this is somebody you meet at work, or maybe this is somebody that you have a connection with through your work. It could be like a company that you do business with. It's definitely going to be a successful relationship. I'm seeing travel for you guys. I'm seeing you guys doing things, maybe bungee jumping or skydiving. Like it's a risky relationship. Like there's a lot of passion there, right? So you guys really enjoy spending time together doing things that other people would be like, oh, you're crazy. I can't believe you're doing that. But you guys are maybe a little bit of adrenaline junkies, right? There's going to be a lot of excitement in this relationship. And it's also going to, I definitely see this could be the one. This next relationship could be the one for you. It's successful, it's pleasurable, it's taking risks, it's dreamlike, right? So I'm getting this, and most importantly, you feel like you're enough in this relationship, right? This relationship is going to come for you and make you feel this is definitely the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with, because they make me feel appreciated. They make me feel loved. So I see this relationship as being very successful for you, and probably the first relationship that you're really going to feel truly loved in. And it's a really beautiful energy, especially considering what you've been through. I can feel this kind of sadness and this sorrow and this feeling like maybe I'll never find somebody, but you will. It's just that for right now, what the cards are really calling for you to do is to focus on yourself and focus on growth, right? And maybe that's not necessarily what you want to hear, because I do get this feeling that you are feeling a little bit lonely, you're feeling a little bit isolated, and I understand that, but what's important right now is to heal from what you've been through before, so that when you do meet this person, you can be the best version of yourself for them, because I can already see that they are the best version of themselves. They're successful, they're ready to kind of, buckle down and give you what you need in a relationship. So just make sure that you can bring the same to that relationship, right? And they're going to love you so much. And I'm not saying that, you have to be this perfect person for them. Obviously, no one's perfect, but just make sure that you've been able to heal from your past so that it's not going to affect this relationship negatively. But know that this person is also very understanding. I'm getting this kind of, I'm getting this Virgo energy that's telling me that they aim to please, right? So they want you to feel, above all else, that you're appreciated in this relationship as well. So I think as long as you're open and honest with them, I see this as being a very successful, potentially lifelong relationship. So that's what I've received for you today, card number 3. Thank you so much for joining. I'd really like it if you would comment or subscribe below if you'd like to see more content like this in the future. I'm also happy to get ideas for new videos from my subscribers, so please feel free to leave me a comment or send me a message. I hope you have a blessed day, and I really hope we get to see each other again soon. Thank you. All right, so card number 4, let's go ahead and get started. Ooh, okay, look at the bigger picture. Okay, so right off the bat, that's an interesting card that's telling me that you might be focusing a little bit too much on the present and maybe not enough into kind of future energy, or obviously the bigger picture of things. Let's see if we can get a little bit more information about what we need to focus on. Okay, meditate and contemplate, which is telling me again, it's a bit of a call for action for you to start thinking about things. And your commitment is being tested. Okay. So that's telling me right off the bat, I think that some things are going to start happening for you that are really going to get you thinking, kind of inside your head about whether or not the path that you're on is necessarily the right one for you, right? So when I see your commitment is being tested, that's telling me that you have kind of an idea of how you think the future is supposed to go for you. You might be one of those people that has the next 3, 4, 5 years planned out. And I think that you might have some things come into your life and in the form of this new relationship that's really going to test that for you, right? So maybe it could be an aversion to marriage or wanting marriage really quickly, wanting to have kids quickly, not wanting to have kids. Like it's different for everybody. So I want you to really think about your own individual situation and what it is that you feel so committed to in a relationship. It's going to really cause you to think about that and look at the big picture and say, you know what, this person might be worth making some changes, and maybe not necessarily being so strict on some of the things that you think you want in a relationship. So let me see if we can get a little bit more information about kind of what's coming for you. Okay, so we've got the Page of Wands. And the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so the Page of Wands is basically just reiterating what's going on with these moon cards as well. It's telling me that it's a catalyst for change, right? It's possibilities. It's moving forward really quickly. Things are coming that are going to make you think differently about your relationship and about what you wanted of a relationship. And when I'm seeing the Knight of Pentacles, that's telling me somebody who's very stable. It could be a little bit slow moving as well, and something that's very practical. So it's almost telling me that perhaps you're a bit of an adventure seeker, or maybe you're the kind of person that likes to kind of mix things up in relationships, right? You don't want to feel bored. You don't want to feel like the person that you're with is holding you back from things. And I think that's a big one for you. Feeling bored, boring to you is just such a negative word, right? So I'm not saying that the person that's coming for you is boring, but I'm just saying it might be a slow moving relationship. It might be somebody who's not necessarily ready to make a commitment, who's not necessarily ready to move at the pace that you want to move at. But that doesn't mean that it's not the right relationship. It could just be that they're going through some things where they're not ready to commit yet, and that's okay. I'm getting protection as well as freedom. So in those two cards, I'm seeing, I think, definitely the energy from this relationship, right? This person doesn't like to feel tied down, right? So they are the kind of person that is definitely interested in you, wants to spend time with you, wants to get to know you, but also wants to still feel like they're going to be able to do the things in their life that bring them joy. But they are still that kind of protector energy as well, right? It's going to be a bit of a frustrating relationship for you, unfortunately. I think they're going to say and do different things, right? So they're going to kind of tell you, I need my freedom. I don't want to commit. I'm not necessarily sure that, I want to see only you, but they're so protective of you and they're so loving of you, and their energy is so kind of not possessive, but that they want to be with you, but they're just too afraid to kind of say it. And that's a little bit of their own shadow self, right? So they've been through some things, I think, in past relationships maybe, and getting the energy they might have been cheated on, or they might have been kind of all in on someone who just really wasn't that way with them. And I think because of that, they're a little bit hesitant with the relationship. But I get the energy that this is going to be a great relationship for you if you're able to stick it out and kind of get through that initial kind of, it doesn't feel like it'll last long, and it feels like the beginning energy of the relationship is that they're just a bit hesitant to be with you, and it's nothing that you're doing wrong. It's really just that they've been through things in their life, right? I'm getting a lot of opposing energies here. Let me see. Okay. So in the Justice card especially, I'm kind of getting this energy that, you know what, it's going to work out. You guys are going to find that middle path. You guys are going to find the relationship balance that works for you, especially when we have kind of, that Libra energy, right? Justice is a Libra card. It's telling me it's going to get there. There's going to be a balance between freedom and protection. Can almost also mean feeling a little bit like locked down, suffocated, right? Because sometimes when you're overprotective, that's almost the opposite of freedom, right? So you're going to find the balance between freedom and kind of being tied down to each other, which I think is the energy from him, is that he doesn't want to feel tied down, right? And when we have that Nine of Swords energy, this is like, kind of a very anxious card. You know, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of worries, and that might actually be you kind of running through too many scenarios and too many possibilities in this relationship. And I think that what the cards are telling you, right, is to look at the bigger picture. Don't worry too much about all of these little intricacies. It's almost like every time he says something, you're analyzing what he's saying or she's saying a little bit too much. And I think what you need to do is try to look at the bigger picture, how this relationship makes you feel. Meditate on that, contemplate on how you feel in the relationship, because with the Temperance card, I'm getting this energy of kind of balance, right? The same with the Libra. It's going to take some time, but you guys are going to get to that place where this person isn't feeling tied down by the relationship. They're feeling supported, and they're feeling like, yeah, they can do this, right? They do want to be with you. And then we have this kind of Five of Wands card, which is this inner conflict, this power struggle, right? And I think that's reflective of this person that's coming into your life. I keep saying him because it's the Knight of Pentacles, but it could be a woman as well, just with a little bit more of a masculine energy coming into your life and, disrupting things a little bit. I think this isn't the type of relationship that you're used to, and maybe not the relationship that you wanted. You kind of just want someone who's already all put together, who maybe doesn't have to have these kind of growth periods. But I think you're up to the challenge. The cards are telling me that it's going to be successful for you. It's going to be a very balanced relationship. And I think a very successful, long-term, potentially the rest of your life relationship, if you allow yourself and this person a little bit of room to breathe, right? So you might be a jump in, all in type of person. And this person that's coming into your life is not right away. They might even be the kind of person that says they don't want to get married. They don't want to settle down. Well, they do. With you, they do. They just don't know it yet, right? So give yourself some time to see how the relationship goes, right? See how you feel in it, whether or not this is your forever person, this is your next relationship, and it's going to open up some things in you and maybe change the way that you're looking at what you want out of a relationship as well. So even if it doesn't work out with this person specifically, it's going to help you in your future relationships, is the sense that I'm getting. So that's the reading that I received for you today, card number 4. Please like, comment, and subscribe below if you'd like to see more content in the future. I'm always happy to take requests. I love seeing comments in my comments section and getting DMs from you as well. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I hope we get to see each other again soon.